māyāmātramidaṃ viśvaṃ paśyanvigatakautukaḥ api sannihite mṛtyau kathaṃ trasyati dhīradhīḥ. niḥspṛhaṃ mānasaṃ yasya nairāśye'pi mahātmanaḥ tasyātmajñānatṛptasya tulanā jāyate. Realizing this universe as a mere illusion and having lost all zest in life, how can even such a man of poised intellect fear the approach of death? Next verse. With whom can we compare that great sage whose mind is free from desires, who even in his frustration experiences contentment in his self-knowledge? We combine these two verses for today's satsang. Commentary on the previous verse. Māyāmātramidaṃ viśvaṃ. The zest to live here means the continuous hunger to seek one's happiness and fulfillment in sense gratification, which is the continuous motive force which propels the individual entities to continue the race. From the womb to the tomb, individuals are goaded to move through the ups and downs of life's paths, tantalized by the empty hope that they would ultimately find complete happiness in the immediately following set of experiences, although they realize that they have been completely cheated by the world till their present moment. A man of wisdom, in his newly awakened inner consciousness, realizes the universe as a mere illusion projected by his own mind, and naturally this self-defeating zest in life is totally lost for him. The fascinating objects outside alone bring all the storms that disturb the mental tranquility and the intellectual equipoise in a man. A man reinforced with this great wisdom of the self becomes impervious to all such worldly agitations. Even the approaching death can have no fear for him. Death is only the end of the body, the destruction of the perishable. Unquote. we have dealt with this phenomenon of death in an earlier verse extensively. So we will make the commentary short or the contemplation shorter. Ordinary people are dhīras, those who are afraid of death. The journey from being a dhīra to a dhīra is a long and arduous one. Ashtavakra alluded to the 4 stages through which it happens. In the first stage, one comes to the realization that the world is unreal or an illusion. In the second stage, the initiative develops a distaste for worldly things as he knows that they are empty in themselves. These 2 stages can be compared to the viveka and the vairagya. In the next stage, he becomes detached and indifferent to worldly things through renunciation and detachment. A glimpse of Shat Sampat is there in the expression renunciation in this. In the 4th stage, he becomes stable-minded and fearless, dhīra, and thereby overcomes all fears, including the fear of death. Ashtavakra used the word dhīradhīḥ rather than dhīra. Dhīradhīḥ means the one who is the foremost or supreme, adi, amongst the stable-minded or the fearless dhīras. A dhīradhīḥ possesses complete mastery over his mind and senses and restrains them at will. He attains that stage through renunciation by giving up all the desires and attachments and becoming indifferent to all. In that state, he overcomes the fear of death by becoming equal to both life and death. Now for Chinmaya's translation on the next verse. niḥspṛhaṃ mānasaṃ yasya. Human mind works under a uniform pattern of behavior everywhere. It perceives an object and discovers for itself the great sense of fulfillment in possessing that object and in enjoying it. Thus a desire is born. This desire goads him to struggle hard to gain the object of the desire. The desirable objects are few in number, and the desiring minds are always many. Naturally, that vast majority must necessarily get disappointed because all cannot possess the same object. When the desire is not fulfilled, the sorrows of disappointment rise in the mind. The emotions of disappointment and disillusionment together constitute the sense of frustration. The man of realization, whose mind is calm and serene even in the midst of great disappointments in life, is a unique phenomenon. Therefore, Ashtavakra exclaims, "With whom can we compare a great souled one?" Unquote. The great soul who is immersed in the knowledge of self and is satisfied with it is different from everyone. He cannot be compared to others because He is withdrawn into himself and focused upon himself. Unlike those who are outwardly drawn into the world through their minds and senses and are involved with it. He is content with Atmajnana, the knowledge of the self. Others are content with Vishaya-jnana, the worldly knowledge. Therefore, he is incomparable to them. Tripti referred in this verse, Tripti or complete satisfaction does not arise in the worldly pursuits because you are subject to too many desires, habits and attachments. You may momentarily experience satisfaction upon satisfying a desire, but when that passes, you will look for more. Thus, with worldly enjoyment, you may derive temporary happiness, but to sustain it, you must keep on seeking more and more things and keep on satisfying your desires. When you are engaged in worldly pursuits or deal with worldly beings, some dissatisfaction or disappointment will always be there, however hard you may try to avoid them. However, the Mahatma does not know the self as a mere knowledge. He exists as self. He is self. He is Jnanam. He is Chit. This state, pure awareness, is awareness without any object. This pure awareness lends light to mind senses which go out and fetch experiences, good or bad, which in turn gives satisfaction or disappointment to the mind. But the source awareness, though illumining the mind senses, does not touch any object. It does not desire any object, and hence it can neither be happy nor be unhappy. Desire or despondency is for the mind, not for the self. That is why Ashtavakra says about the Mahatma that even in his frustration experiences contentment. He experiences contentment in his self-knowledge. As long as he is in the samsara, as long as he has to pursue purushartha, even after having realized self, depending upon this ashrama in which he is, he may have to pursue some artha, and he has to adhere to some dharma. Kama is ruled out in a man of realization, while he pursues artha and subject to dharma. At the practical worldly level, there may be success or failure. Surely, even for him. But that is for his body mind. Since he is stuck up still in the samsara and has to perform some dharma and has to pursue some artha, maybe. But in all those moments of extreme success or extreme failure, his mind cannot disturb his equipoise, because while the body mind is functioning in the world to clear his prarabdha, inwardly he stays rooted in consciousness. He exists as pure awareness, bliss. Therefore, nothing which is happening to his body and mind can in any way disturb his state of pure awareness. Hari Om Tat Sat.